For the cover, we will need 2 pieces of chipboard. This measures 11 by 10 1/4, and the spine will measure 3 1/2 by 10 1/4. Let's start with our spine. So I have a piece of Tyvek here. I will be gluing my spine piece here. I have added my score tape. I'll just place it in the center. So I will now take one of the chipboard pieces and I will glue it there. So first I'm going to add some more tape. I have put score tape around, and then I've also put one piece of score tape on the chipboard. I have 2 pieces of chipboard that I have glued together. That'll give me a space so that I can space this in between like this. Okay, so but first I'm going to take this adhesive off. I will space myself 2 pieces of chipboard. So I'm going to now cover the spine, and I will be using this DCWB denim stack. So I cut a piece that measures 7 by 12. I'm going to be gluing it here. So first I'm going to put score tape on my spine. So I added my score tape all over the spine, but I did not put score tape here where it bends. So then I've also put score tape on the back of this sheet, and I wanted to make sure that it was fully covered with tape, so I put tape on the edge, and then the remaining amount, when I glue it to each other, it will be completely adhered. I turned it around, and now I'm placing this in the center, and I want to just make sure I have the same amount on both sides. So I know my spine is 3 1/2, so I just want to have the same amount on either edge, and I can estimate that it's about 1 3/4. So the total space is 7 inches, and if it's not exact, it's alright, as we will be covering it later. And then from the top and the bottom, I would also like the same amount, and this is just eyeballing it, just an estimate, so I'm gonna leave it at that point. I'm gonna lift this side, then I'm going to attach it, but it's going to be at an angle. I'm going underneath, and with my hand I'm just pressing it for it to be at an angle. So now I'm going to lift this side. Then I'm going to take the tape off the spine, so just the spine, not this side. Okay, so now again I'm going to start from the bottom, and then with my hand I will be attaching it, and I want to be at an angle as well. Starting from the bottom, then I slowly knead with it. And now I'm gonna take this part off at an angle this way. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, so now we're just going to fold this up, but I'm gonna put also some tape here and here on the edge. Okay, so I folded it with my finger and then I'm going to pull it forward. Starting at the center. Okay, so there we have our spine covered, front and back. Okay, so what you want is for it to look nice when it's closed, when the book is closed. I didn't put it with the book laying down, so that's why I lifted it at an angle. It's because you want it to look good when the book is closed. Okay, so next I will be covering this part here. I'm going to use this sheet from the paper collection. I'm going to be gluing that, so I will be adding score tape in this area here. I've placed the score tape in the front and the back cover. So now I will take the sheet that I'm going to use. So it'll be about 1.25 inches. I'm gonna leave enough space on the top and the bottom, about 1 inch. And I will now start taking the tape off. So I added 1 piece of score tape here to start with. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this side. I'll just leave about 1 inch so that I can just use it to fold. This is the piece that I cut off when I cut the chipboard, so I'm just going to use that as my guide. This is 1 inch. I have put score tape on the edge of the chipboard and on the edge of the paper. So I will now miter these corners. I'm going to use this corner miter tool. It's by Coco by Ceci. I found her on Etsy. I'm just going to place it on the corner. I'm going to draw a line. Then I'm just going to cut along that line. Okay, so now I will be folding these. I will take some glue, put it against the chipboard. And I will put some here on the corner. we need to tuck in the corner so that it lays flat, and then we can fold it up. Okay, so now we have one side. This is what it looks like. We will now do the same thing on this side. So next I'm going to take some ribbon and I will be putting it over the two connections here. I will lay it flat. I have a 3/8 of an inch satin blue ribbon. I have put score tape behind it. This is 12.5 inches long. And then I have put score tape, but I put it in sections so that it will be easier to take off and also easier to put on. So let's take a little bit at a time. And we want to leave about an inch on each edge so we can wrap it around. So you can decide where to put it. You can put it in between the two sections or on the side. So I'll just try to put it in the middle. And then just take out one piece at a time and just try to be as straight as you can. And don't pull it too much, just try to go a little bit at a time. Okay, so now I'll turn it around and I'll just wrap it inside the cover. So just pull it a little bit, but not too much. Okay, so this is now what it looks like. So now we're going to do the other side. So this is how it looks now with ribbon here. And I decided to use this fabric paper so I wouldn't have to worry about the regular paper cracking here on the side. You can also use any piece of fabric, or you can use paper if you would like. Okay, so now the next thing is to do our hinge. To make our hinge, we will need a sheet of cardstock 9 7/8 by 10 3/4. The 10 3/4 on the top. And we will now make our score lines. First one is at 2 1/2, 3 1/4, 4, 4 3/8, 5 1/8, 5 7/8, 6 1/4, 7, 7 3/4, 8 1/8, 8 7/8, then 9 5/8, then 10. Okay, so these are our score marks. You're gonna need another one of these sheets, the same size, 10 3/4 by 9 7/8, and we will be connecting these two pieces to make our hinge. We will now add our score tape. So let's take one of these. Okay, so let's turn it to the back where you see the bumpy side. We're gonna need to add score tape to the bigger ones. I have made my hinges to be 3/4 of an inch tall, and then the hinge is 3/8. This is one pair for the hinge, and then this is the gusset. Another pair for the hinge, 3/4 each, gusset, the hinge, the gusset, hinge, and another gusset. So I want to put the tape here on the bumpy side, and you only need to do it on one of them. You don't need to do it on both. So I'm putting the tape inside our score lines. So I have score tape on one of the 3/4 inch pairs. So I'm gonna go to the next pair and add score tape there too. Okay, so I have put my score tape on one of the 3/4 inch pairs. So now I'm going to take off the tape on the first one. Then I will just fold it forward. Fold this back. Okay, so now I have my first hinge. Okay, that's our first one. So the next one. Okay, so we have our hinge with the 4 hinges like this. So all we did was just connect them together. So we'll do the same thing to my other hinge now. Okay, so we have our 2 hinges. We're going to attach them together. So that these 2 will form another hinge as well. Because I have 4 plus this one, and then 4 and this one, so together when they attach they will make 9. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to put tape on one of them. So now with our tape, this will connect to this one. I'm trying to make sure that they're even. So it's against my scoreboard, and I'm going to push this against my scoreboard as well. Okay, so there we are. So now we have our 9 hinges. We'll now put a score tape on each one of these hinges. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch score tape. I'm going to put the tape right on the edge at the top. Okay, so do that for each one. I have put my score tape on both sides of the hinges, and make sure you are on the edge so that you can leave 1/4 inch. Okay, and also in the back it's completely covered with score tape. So we will now put it on our book. So make sure you're on the right side, that this is the top and this is the bottom. And we will be gluing it in the center. Okay, so let's try to locate the center. So I want to leave the same amount of space on both sides. I want to be in the middle. So make sure you position it as best as you can in the center. Okay, so I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it here and take out a little bit of tape at a time. Okay, so just this much, just to hold it down. Okay, so I'm gonna now remove a little bit at a time. And I want to put some glue here. I'm putting glue here where the fabric is. So just lay it down a little bit at a time. Okay, so now burnish it all in. So now locate on the fold here. Just lift it a little bit. Then burnish it here on the fold. Just do it slowly. Okay, so there we have our book. So now I'm taking these sheets to cover the inside cover. Okay, so now let's insert our pages into the hinges. I'm going to start with the last page first. This is where I'm going to attach it to the spine. I'm going to insert it here. So you're trying to insert it so that you cover the tape. So try to make it straight. And then take the tape from the back. Okay, so just take the tape now from the back of the hinge. And press it down. Okay, take your next one. So align it with the last one. Now we're going to make a pocket that will go in our front and back covers. Cut a sheet of cardstock that measures 8 by 9, then score at 1/2 inch, and then add 7.5. Turn it around, and now on the 9-inch side, score at 2.5. Okay, next we're going to cut these two long pieces here. And this is going to be our pocket. So I will be placing score tape here and here. So here at the fold, just miter it. So now cut a sheet of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 7. And then score at 1/2 inch. We'll put score tape here. Okay, so glue it behind where you don't have the pocket, and this will be the closure of the pocket like this. Because I'm going to turn it back and align it so they're both together. Okay, so next I'm going to add a magnet here. I'm just going to use my basic gray magnets. Okay, I'm going to take my first magnet and place it here on top of the pocket. This pocket measures 7, so I'm going to measure 3.5 so that I can place it in the center. With the magnet, the other one will go there. So next we're just going to mat this pocket. Okay, this is how I mat it. And this is the pocket. I'm not going to cover this part. What I'm going to do now is to take one of these paper buttons that I punched out with the Martha Stewart button punch. Use 2. I'm gonna put one on the top, and I want to cover the magnet so I don't notice the bulge that's created there. I'm gonna use some glue. First I'll cover the top magnet here. Okay. And next for this one, so that's why I was trying to get the magnets straight in the center. Okay, so next we're going to do a folder that will go here. So take a sheet of cardstock that measures 10 by 8 and score at 5 inches. And then turn it to the 8-inch side and score at 2.5. Okay, fold it in half. Okay, so I want to miter a piece from the center. I'm going to measure 1/2 inch from the edge. Then I'll just cut that triangle piece off. Okay, so now we're going to fold these up. That's going to be our folder. We're just going to add some glue here on the side to hold these up. That's going to go inside of our pocket right here. Okay, so now let's glue the pocket on our inside cover. Okay, so I have added my tape to the back. So just place it any place you would like. I'm just gonna add it right there. Okay, so that's our pocket. Put anything you would like here. You can put some pictures. You can also put your sonogram pictures here in this pocket. And also there's more room for other items here as well. Okay, so that's the front cover. Now let's work on the back. So now you will need a sheet of cardstock that measures 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. The second piece measures 7 1/2 by 9 1/4, and on the 7 1/2 inch side, score it at 1/2 inch. You will place some tape here. So take your first piece, and this will be glued on one side. So try to put it straight and just take off the tape. Okay, now we're going to make a pocket. Now take this piece that measures 4 1/2 by 10 1/4 and score at 1/2 inch. Turn it around on the 10 1/4 inch side and measure 1/2 inch, and then another 1/2 inch at 9 3/4. Now you'll need to miter these corners. Just cut straight. Now let's add tape here on the edges of this pocket. Fold them back. Okay, we will take this pocket and place it on this side, on the opposite side of the flap, and then we'll place a magnet so it can close like this. Okay, so now just trying to line it up against the edge. Okay, so now we'll place the magnets. Okay, so next we will just mat this page. We've matted the pocket. It opens like this, and this is the pocket. You can insert extra pictures or documents, anything you would like. Now let's add it to the back. So added my tape to the back. I'm going to place it in the center, but I want to be about 1 inch away from the edge because I don't want the pocket to show when the album is closed. So I'm just going to put it about 1 inch away from this edge. Okay, so now I'm going to put the same paper buttons that I punched out. Now let's add page inserts that we can put in the pockets. take a sheet of cardstock that measures 9 1/4 by 9 1/4, and then mat front and back. And you will need 9. So I've matted the 9 pages front and back. And next I'm going to glue a pull tab here on the side. And I'm going to use this Recollections 1.5 inch scallop punch. So I'm just going to take scrap paper and just punch out some scallops. So I have 9 pages, so I'm going to do 1 pair for each one, so we'll need 18 of them for my first page. Okay, so just glue a pair in the front and in the back like that, and just try to place it in the center. So I'm just going to put glue in the front and in the back and then glue them to each other. Okay, so just glue it right at the center. Okay, so that's going to be our pull tab for this tab, and move them and align them so that they're matching, the scallops match. Okay, so now let's do that for all the pages. I'm going to put them all in the center. Let's now insert them in the album. Okay, so find your opening and just put it in there. That's the album with the page inserts. And so you don't need to add these inserts. You can just do the album without the inserts. And then I made the album size this size so that these tabs will be hidden under the cover. So that's why there's this space, so you don't have to do that if you don't add the inserts, but this is what we have. Okay, so next I will be doing a closure for this album, even though I don't think this album needs a closure, but just in case you would like to add a closure, I will show you how I did my closure. I'm going to do a wraparound closure, and I'm going to be using this 2-inch ribbon. And I'm going to use these metal rectangle rings to create a strap. These are called metal silvery rectangle buckles. The brand is called Generic, and I got them at Amazon. You can also use the Dritz 2D rings. These D rings will work just as well. I'm going to double up the ribbon because singular, you can see through the fabric, you can see the paper, so I'm just going to double it up. So this is 2 inches by 1 yard. We're going to be gluing it to itself so we can double it up. I don't have a sewing machine, so I'm going to do it this way with tape. And so I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way on one side. And I'm just going to glue it like this, overlap it a little bit. I'm going to be adding some tape. But first I'm going to fold here. So I know that this will be one edge. I'm going to be adding my tape there. Okay, so that tape is right against that fold. So when it folds, we will fold it on that piece of tape. I'm going to add more tape here. Okay, it's added in pieces. Just lay it down. Don't move the fabric or don't fold it. Just let it drop. Do it slowly. Don't wrinkle the ribbon. Put it on top of itself. And then you will have your edge there. Okay, now take these tapes off. Okay, just one pair at a time and let it drop slowly and make sure you're exactly on top. We're going to put more tape in here and then we overlap it a little bit and this will end up like this. Let me just make sure I press here to know this will be the edge. Okay, so I'm going to put my tape there. Okay, so now just continue adding tape here and here. Okay, I added more pieces of tape around it. I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, I'm going to start with the one on the edge. Okay, so this is the front of the book. I'm going to start with the back, so I'm just going to turn it to the back so that this is on my left. Okay, the part where it's joined, I want to make sure it's here so that it will be in the back of the book. Okay, so just locate the center and you're going to be gluing this directly on the book. Okay, so the cover is 10 1/4, so my middle will be about here. This is 4 1/8 and 4 1/8. So I'm gonna need to add my tape here so that I can glue it here. Okay, so let me add my tape now. And it's going to be against this other ribbon that I have. And since this is a folded ribbon, it's not going to fray. So I can just put it directly there. And I'm going to measure that I am at 4 1/8 on each side. That's going to be the middle here, 4 1/8 and 4 1/8. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be. I'm making sure that I'm on the edge of the other ribbon. And then I'll be taking off the rest of them now. Okay, so I put enough ribbon to go to the edge, but not exactly on the edge. I left like about a quarter away from the edge. So this is going to be the part that we're going to use for the closure here. Okay, so now we're going to do the front part. I'm going to need a smaller piece, and this is the part where it's going to have the rings. So I need to be able to put them both in there like that and hold them in this way. And then this will be the closure. And so we will try to do that. And it's gonna go like this. So let's cut the amount that we need. We're gonna need half a yard, which is 18 inches. Okay, so 12 inches and then 6 more inches after that. So I'll be cutting here. Okay, so the edges are straight. And again, we will be gluing this together, so that could be a double ribbon. Okay, I'm gonna start by folding it in half. I'm gonna meet the edges and then fold. And then I'll be adding my tape on this side. Okay, so let's take our rings. And so let's use the part where it's not folded. So this folded side, we'll keep it on the left. Put your rings through this side. Then fold it back so you have something like this. Okay, so fold it back. Fold this half an inch, and then we will glue it here like that. So we're gonna need half an inch of tape here. Okay, right there. Okay, so this is the part where the tape is. Now turn it around. You're gonna fold this. So you have half an inch of tape space. You're gonna fold it in so that you create a loop. And the size of this loop, let's make it about 1.5 inches. So let's measure that it's about 1.5 inches. So it's about that much. And just make sure you're on the edge. Okay, so 1.5 inches is your loop. Just press it down. So you want to make it flat now. Okay, so what we need to do now is to now add our tape on this side. Okay, I've had it tape here on the back. So remember to put it on the back where the loop is. Let's look at our book. Okay, so we have this piece, and we want to be able to add this here so that it can close here. So let's test it. Okay, so it's gonna look just like that. Okay, so again, let's try to be at 4 1/8 on the top and the bottom. So there we go, that's our closure for this book. So this book doesn't need a closure, but it's nice if you do. So this is the closure we have for the book. So I really like how it turned out. Whether you use these rectangle rings or the D rings, they will both look really cute. So let's take a quick final look. Originally I had put the 5 here in the center, but I moved it because it was catching with the other side here. So I just took some undo and I removed it from here and put it here. Okay, so I just used undo. This is some adhesive remover, and with the undo it doesn't ruin your paper, so everything is the same. And I used the same as I had. I didn't have to make a new one. I just added new tape to it. So the good thing is that I use tape. With the undo, it will just remove your tape. And so the same thing with the 7, I had to remove it from here because it was also catching with the other side here. So I removed it from here and placed it down here. So that's our 10 by 10 baby album. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you follow along. So thank you everyone for watching these tutorial videos, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.